YouTube, welcome to the Meta Weekly. Every single week, we are here at the bottom with Branded Regain, Emblema Oath. What is going on here? Centruion with Gravity Collapse. Plu, what are you up to? As we're playing against, of course, the sole best deck Maliss, because people are refusing to play Lancia as everyone has moved on to play Duel instead. And Maliss plays quite well under Duel as it hard stops Mitsurugi and even does quite well against Ryzeal. By watch as long as you can, that greatly supports the events. And Konami, where is the ban list? Hajime.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
Maxi in the draw. We have Ash 2, Negate. Now from here, we should be able to make plays with the Emblema Oath. Place a Centruion into the back row here. Come to us, playing the Centruion stand-up. And with the stand-up, we're going to discard a card. Now we're going to use Lancia so that he cannot banish for the rest of the turn. Does that actually matter? Let's see. Let's type in the words here, the magic words of banish within Centruion. As we now have the Trudea and Primera in the back row, I'm going to type in the Centruion deck type, and then we're going to type in the word banish. Who banishes? Well, the Bestials banish. The Centruion Phalanx does banish. That is a core part of the combo to get the trap in graveyard to banish it, then reborn. So what we have ended up with here is, what the heck is Gravity Collapse? When your opponent would summon a monster, you could send a face-up synchro to the graveyard, negate the summon. If you do, destroy that monster. Also, your opponent cannot summon a monster until the end of this turn. What? That is a crazy floodgate-like effect. And then we have Ash, and then we have the Oath plus the field spell to be another form of disruption, at least triple disruption here. Huh. This should be an easy win. Would summon, negate, and then cannot summon. Now, why didn't we negate this? This is an effective special summon. This is not a would summon. Rabbit, we also still can't negate that, unfortunately. White Rabbit set from the deck, TB11, what a Chad. Now, this is a would-be summon that we can negate. And we are doing it, mate. Gravity, Collapse, the Lingeribo. Look at that. You cannot special summon nor normal summon for the rest of this turn. Why is my game bugged? Trudea within the main phase going to summon, and we're going to Oath, put into the back row Primera. Completely shutting down their turn. That was incredible. Let's now, since we're able to banish, we can banish the Wake Up to get the Phalanx, which could further banish to Reborn. We're going to use the Lubellion to search our deck. We're going to chain Primera to summon from the back row. More people got to play this, or what? I mean, it's quite the hefty requirement, right? The downside is if they had any other way to deal with your synchro before performing a regular summon, we're going to use the Ash to negate the TB11 from special summoning from the deck or extra deck. This could have summoned a Cryptor, which would not be activatable the turn it's summoned, but on the next turn, we would be able to get banishing. Magnum, huh? Just like that. The Gravity Control Trap winning it all. That is insane. Well done to you. Now, of course, when going second, this is going to be trash, but let's see. All right. We are now dealing with a Nibiru and Impermanence. Red Ransom Chainlink blocked by Link Decoder. We are now ready with the Nibiru. Well, you would have to Nibiru here if you didn't have Impermanence because they are able to now go into an Apollo. Sometimes they go into the Wicked first. Field spell, banish the mirror, banish from engrave the Red Ransom. So the other thing we now have to wait for or be afraid of is big hand. You can make a Lingeribo. If you make a Lingeribo, you will be able to negate the Impermanence and negate the Nibiru. Are you going to have that proper foresight to do so? And you could know with your normal summon, your activations, that their field has continually been lighting up because of Impermanence. Is Plu going to take the risk? And this would be it. Plu has to be freaking out here. If he summons Lingeribo, I freaking lose. Okay, now on the resolution, this is it. Do we Nibiru and Imperm? Yeah, he's like, nope, we're not going to risk this. We're just going to do it. Activate the Apollo, Imperm, negate. Damn. Well done, smart. The Dormouse has already been banished. We wanted to follow up with the March Hare, which you already activated. full field Nibiru, wipe them up. Now, the big concern of Nibiruing a Maliss player is, are they playing Link Spider? If they're playing Link Spider, we are screwed. They're going to be able to follow up with the backup Ignister into the Wizard. That's going to be +1 body, +2 bodies in addition to the Link Spider. Let's look. Link Spider. No Spider. Wow. Had we had a Link Spider, we could have fully comboed from here. Off the top, we got our Ashe, Primera, activate searching for the stand-up Centruion, GWC, reborn back our Red Ransom. And look at Nibiru's now 600 attack because the Red Ransom is pointing to something. We're gonna, in response to the activation of the field spell, we're going to march here, get the White Rabbit to set up the MTP. Thanks to having the Red Ransom, the MTP is gonna be able to non-target banish. Let's non-target banish right here, right now, as the Ashe negates the newly drawn Ashe off the top of the deck. Finger the Ashe, negate. And we did activate a monster effect during the main phase. We will be able to triple tactics talent, draw 2, take control, or look at the hand here. And we still have the stand-up Centurion play. We got plays. We already used up our normal summon, though. Now, what the heck happened here? We did get fingered, so we did lose that play I was saying we had to play for. We just have triple tactics talent. Take control of the Nibiru token, 4,400 attack as we wipe out their fields. 44 to the face. Now, the life points is a currency for Maliss. It's 300 per small monster to come back from the banishment. It's 900 per big monster, and the only way to gain life points is going to be through the GWC. Giving them back the 4,400 token. We couldn't get rid of it. They're going to follow. I mean, we have 0 disruption. What are we even talking about here? Banish, draw 2, add back the March Hare, banish, Red Ransom, cost of 900. We paid 300, 900, paid another 300, TB11. Our life points are dropping fast. 1,500 life points we have paid so far, but it does not matter. Binder is going to be banishing. What? He banished all 3 traps. Do you even know what that means? That means if I could grab the freaking field spell, it better be related to this or I'm going to use the website. There we go. The field spell states, with 3 or more of your Maliss traps with different names being banished, you gain 3,000 attack onto all of your Maliss Link monsters. 3,000 attack boost across the board. Damn. But my point still stands. You could reveal the trap to them, and I don't think there's really any play that they could do to play around it. Now, unfortunately, we did not draw our auto win. And Big Hand has Maxi and both Fool losses. For some reason, all 3 of these cards are activatable. And we also have impermanence. Let's start off with a Fua. Oh no, my Fua got ashed. I could activate a second Fua, and I could still Maxi. Now, summoning from the back row is not going to be resulting in a draw with the Fua loss. Thus, I think we'll be waiting with the Maxi on the summon from the back row to then hit them with the C. Let's start this off with the Primera. Primera searching for the Wake Up Centurion. Only activatable if we have a monster in the back row. So let's get that monster in the back row. And now we're going to Trudea, summon for the back row, chain Maxi. We're going to chain the Wake Up Centurion so they draw 1 less card here. As we're going to summon a level 4 token. We still have the impermanence. Ooh, if we summon for the extra deck, it's a draw 2. Do we really want to give them 2 cards? No way, right? Wake Up is going to be sending from the deck to the grave the trap, and then we should just end our turn. Well done, just like that. And the Imperm's going to gain no value. Now, the Imperm can gain value if you want to make a Giga Brain play. The Giga Brain play is to trick Plu into thinking you have an evenly match. How do you do that? You, with a smile, you say, I end my main phase. And they go, oh crap, only within the main phase can I make my plays to pop off from there. So let's perform my synchro. Then you retain the main phase, then you imperm the newly summoned monster, then you make your plays from there. We're not doing that. We have MTP, and the illegal play I outlined in the YCS is here. If we wanted to cheat, we would activate Chessie, wait for a response. If there's no response, you chain MTP, banish the newly added card, but if they do respond, then you waste their activation. Grab the Dormouse, where otherwise, if you did not cheat and you had an impermanence, you could just imperm the Chessie Cat right here. We're going to be triggering the stand-up Centurion and special summon the Gargoyle too. Come forth, synchro it up into Legatia. non-target destroy. And boy, are we screwed. We already used up our normal summon. We have Dormouse. That can't be normal summoned. We have double impermanences. This is game freaking 3. Legatia's gonna set a card into the back row during the end phase. This is not really a big impermanence in any way. Okay, sure. And even though Centurion's a slow deck, we should still put up lethal damage here, even through an impermanence. Double Bestial, that's an extra 5,000 damage, plus the Legatia, that alone would be game. Trudea into the back row, we're not even bothering with the impermanence. Primera searching for the try. We have Magnum Hunt banishing the Primera, 4,100 damage on the field. Baron to floor to negate a potential hand trap, 8,300 damage just like that. Centurion defeating Maliss. Damn. Summon Dyna Pass with a double finger. Simply 1,200 attack is going to be enough. We could just normal summon Wizard. 1,800 attack, normal summon, and we're good. Yep, just like that. Artifact Lancia on the summon. We are fine with that. We had no other play anyway. We bricked. Now, let's further go into a Lingaribo to maybe negate a Floodgate. You know, because we could see the back row, we could think that this is not a good idea. Let's see. Hey, it works out. Well done. We still need to draw into a play. We have the Marchair, we have Fulos into the Almirage. Let's link these two up into a Cyberse Wicked. As we're now going to Marchair, banish the Mouse and Mirror, trigger the Wicked. As we try to search our deck, unfortunately, we do not have a Chain Link block. But it doesn't matter. We have a Link 2 plus a Maliss, that's full combo. Red, Ransom, search in our deck for the Mouse and Underground. Let's Droll and Lockbird them. We could play under the Droll, no big deal. Banish the Dormouse, banish the White Rabbit, come back, set into the back row. We're gonna want to be going into an access code talker likely. Now, on the resolution, we're gonna have to finger the Red Ransom. We didn't. I guess we're in big trouble. We would have to, we would want to finger the Red Ransom and then probably finger the, I guess just at least finger the Red Ransom. We're giving up though. We gave up. It's over. Okay. Finish me. Juice Man, 43 months, appreciate you. Cold Nano with 100 bits. Howdy Decade, can you please give me another Genesis tournament? Also, Booba, thank you for your time. Genesis tournament. Has the new Genesis point ban list come out? Maybe when every time they do a new point ban list, we can consider doing a Genesis-like tournament, yeah? Aramasa is here on summon, imperm, negate. You what, mate? I thought you were a Floodgate deck. You're just Mitsurugi playing Fossil Dyna. We have a bricked Knight Sword Serpent in hand, double Droll and Ash. Is this the way? And as I've been saying, we could very easily play under Droll and Lockbird as a Mouse player. Let's speed this up. Normal, the Marchair, Link Decoder is here, banished from the graveyard, the Marchair adding back to the hand, but we already used up our normal summon. So we're gonna have to be able to summon again. Well, Marchair was able to have a card in hand to banish to summon itself. Otherwise, if we didn't have that card to banish, we were pretty much stuck. Link Decoder, reborn itself back. Johnny, game 1, you bricked. Game 2, you bricked. You had a brick. I mean, these are essentially, well, I'm not going to say Armasa's a brick. It could search for the Habakiri, make some plays from here. But damn, what the heck is going on? Fossil Dyna, I would say, is definitely a brick alongside the Knight Sword Serpent. Back-to-back bricking it up. Let's non-target banish away the Aramasa. This is just unfortunate. I'm not going to say he built his deck improperly. This is just the risk you take when playing pretty much any deck. What's a brick and Maliss? The Mouse and Mirror. You generally are not going to be able to make plays with that. Now, the theory is, if you don't have Droll against Ryzeal Mitsurugi, it's over. There's nothing you could do. And with this hand, how many plays do we have? We have an X-Ryzeal play, which is also a board breaker like play, which could turn off another form of disruption. So you would probably need to stop the X-Ryzeal, then your other card would also get stopped. The Habakiri is a play. You need a card to stop that. And then the 7 Tachyon goes into a play. So we need at least 4 plays. If we have 3, they're going to break through it. So at least 4 good disruptions to break their turn 2. Maybe they'll draw into another play, though. That will further be an issue. The Wave King Caesar. I am going to negate you, definitely with the aggregator. And with what I've been saying that we need for disruption, we have the Wave King Caesar, which is 2, but gets stopped by the aggregator. We have a Drill Beam. We have an Ash. We got 3 plays, and I said we needed 4. We're going to start off with the 7 Tachyon. After the deck, does not Ash that. Let's return back the Habakiri. X Ryzeal, send the aggregator to negate the Wave King Caesar. We're going to search our deck. Drill Beam is going to negate and banish. Now, we have 1 Ash against an Ice Ryzeal or a Habakiri. Wait a second, the 4th play is revealing itself. We are playing the Fiendsmith in Paradise. Hidden in the graveyard, the Fiendsmith Requiem. We're going to Ash the Saji, yes. Activate, search for the ritual spell. Negate. Well done, mate. Now, he did not set up the Fiendsmith in Paradise yet. Maybe he's not playing it. No name? You got it, right? Now, it's not even gonna trigger here. I think we mistimed this summon. They could now Xyz summon, and you are not going to send them from here, but the Sword Ryzeal is still gonna be able to search. And now we have that 4th form of disruption where the Fiendsmith in Paradise is waiting on special summon to trigger a monster effect that the Ryzeal Cross can negate. We're just gonna go right into the duo drive with 3 materials. So 1 material will negate, and our other 2 materials will search our deck. We're gonna be further banishing the Saji here. Is he maybe trying to trick him to negate the Bestial with the Ryzeal Cross? Activate. Negate. Magnum Hunt. This is a good chain link block if you could chain link block the Cross, but you can't. So very smart if you want to play around, let's say, an Apollo USA. Negates the correct card here, negating the Desiree. Detach, searching for the Node Ryzeal. And just like that, let's pop off. Return 2, engrave, special summon the Node, send, reborn the Sword Ryzeal. Dugaris. Dugaris is going to be detaching 2, draw 2, and what the? What were we coping to draw into? Why not get like regular old detonating up in here, right? Gambling addict? Are you freaking kidding me? What the? All right. Ash, just Ash. Habakiri is a play to stop him from searching for the ritual that's already in his hand. Uh-oh. I mean, it's a one-of, right? He shouldn't have it, but he does. Thus, we're going to play right to that Ash, obviously. Detonate, attach the Night Sword Serpent Mate. Let's return 2, draw 1, and let's freaking go. Do we have a properly summoned Murakumo in graveyard? Of course we do. So we have the prayers to be able to wipe the field, force them to discard Nibiru, Ash, negate a monster. We could then pop, pop, pop. One of those being a negate. Only 8 disruptions, mate. Let's go. Drew a Swarm, attempting to banish away the Murakumo. Ash, attempts to negate. We're going to use cross, of course. There's no way we're not crossing that. Negate the Ash. Reborn the Mitsurugi. We lose the field wipe. And we can still force them to discard in response to something else. I mean, with 6 more disruptions, what is even the point? We're going second. We just have Max C, and they do not have an out for the C. Now, for next turn, we got 3 plays, and one of those plays is an X Ryzeal, so again, we need 4 forms of disruption to stop their next turn. Using the Aramasa for normal summon, meaning we can't normal summon an Ice. If we choose to normal summon this, they have double Bestial and Nibiru. Is this going to be good enough? Searching for the Ice, not an X Ryzeal. We're now going to be searching for the X Ryzeal. With that, return back the Ryzeal Cross. Special summon, we're negating nothing with the aggregator. That's fine. We're chain link blocking the X Ryzeal from getting Ash Blossom if we're holding on to that. We got our sword. Sword special. Come to us, ice. Ice should be summoning a star, set up the field spell, and then on the 5th summon, you're going to be able to negate Nibiru. That's it. Well done. But Fiendsmith in Paradise is actually not that big of a deal. Is this worth ashing? Well, we lose a level 4 monster, that's it? Or he would actually take out the field spell. Correction. This was good to ash. I think so. I now agree with it. Not to take out a monster, but take out the field spell, which would ensure that the Nibiru goes through. Now, this makes things a bit tricky. If you perform the Xyz to counter Nibiru, the Baldrake is now going to try to banish your Xyz, and then you're going to likely try to negate the Baldrake. Now, if we read the Baldrake states that you contribute to target the monster. Is there something that we could summon that would be untargetable, but then we still get Nibiru'd? I think we're in a checkmate situation here with the Nibiru and Baldrake. Let's go into a duo drive. Try to banish. We negate, and then now we can Nibiru. When do we Nibiru? We could wait. Now we probably don't want to wait. If they activate the duo drive, you chain Nibiru, they don't get to search, but the Feral Imps, it does not matter if it gets tributed in response to an activating. So we have to do it. Wipe the field, well-timed Nibiru, and just no name. Good job on the Baldrake, forcing them out to use the cross so that you could then use your Nibiru. And you have to remember with Ryzeal that if they have a Nibiru token, Ryzeal does not search. Banish away from Engrave, Druistorm is here, Moon of the Closed Heaven. Oh my Jesus, do you play Agnumde for lethal damage? Yes. Very easily we should inflict over 8,000 damage thanks to the Agnumde. Agnumde is an additional 3,600 damage, it's 1,800 attack. We have 1,200 burn for Lacrima, and then whatever it reborns from grave, it gives an additional 1,800 attack. We did not Agnumde. You what? Let's make a Fiendsmith sequence. Are we gonna put up enough forms of disruption where we could still win this? We couldn't like Druistorm early to force out game? Were we afraid of a Nibiru maybe? I don't know. All right. I feel like we should have tried to force lethal. We have Desiree up in here. What we're dealing with is a non-targetable, which is able to negate up to 5 cards in the field, also non-target, 5,800 of course. Then we also have Druistorm. This is about double disruption. Double. Can't imperm, can't do it. We're gonna be sending from the extra deck a Drancolubion that's gonna do nothing, special summon the sword. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna go for the Dugars, draw 2. We love gambling. Off the top of the deck, we got the Habakiri now. Ice Ryzeal, summon our Node. Node's gonna send Dugars Reborn back onto the field, the X Ryzeal. We're gonna use all 3 to go into Ouroboros. What? Does this non-target take control of a monster? Doesn't it do something like that? Or I'm thinking of another Evil Storm that takes control. Target 1 card your opponent controls, return to the hand. You could target the sequence to return it back, and then it becomes targetable. We could send a random card from the opponent's hand to the graveyard, or you could target 1 card in your opponent's graveyard and banish that target. What are we activating? We are activating to target the sequence, making this now targetable. Battle phase. Open up the field, then imperm negate the Desiree. It's perfect. Nicely done. Negate. No more disruption, mates. Let's Habakiri, some for the deck. Saji searching for the ritual. We're down bad, 150 life points here. Do we even bother using the Druistorm to banish the Night Sword? We do not. Night Sword resolves. There's no fear of us losing this turn, obviously. Ritual Tribute, Murakumo. The Druistorm could still banish a card. It will just tribute itself. Now the desert. Whoa! You timed out? What the? No, Kawaki, that was your game to win. The Night Sword's water? Well, I didn't say it was a legal way to banish it. We're gonna speed on through this. Don't worry, we're gonna real quick on this. Now, We got a lot of disruption, a lot of them. Negate, return a card back, mate, non-target banish. We could also imperm, negate. We could banish from the grave with the white binder. We could banish the Baldric, then banish the monster from the extra deck that's summoned. We could also banish the Cryptor. Oh, we have another impermanence, so we're just at 10 disruptions here. Common 10, well done, good job. And then of course we had to be forced to finger a freaking Maxi to start off the turn. Speed on through this. Dormouse, banish March Hare. We have Impulse, we have Ash here. Firewall is going to return 3 cards back. Let's return back our Splash Mage, Druid Swarm, and Chessie to our hand. Allure to get rid of that Chessie. Let's further go into the Allied Code Talker, Omni, negate, mate. And finally, we're done. We could banish, we could ash, we could draw, we can negate a special summon, we could non-target banish, we could non-target banish, we could negate and banish, we could negate 2 monster effects. Like 9 disruption. Speed up. Fua should keep Maliss in check, right? And this is exactly why you chain a Fua or Maxi to an Allure of Darkness or an effective draw, because they could draw into a Call by the Grave as they did, or draw into an Ash or a Crossout Designate. And being fully checked by the Fua loss, let's see what they're able to end on. Red Ransom, draw a card, don't mind if I do, into the mirror, set, and pass. Now, after getting Fua lost, let's count our forms of disruption. Let's draw for our turn first. Now, we have the ability to negate a monster, and then negate a monster, and then negate a monster, and then finger a monster, and then non-target banish any card in the field, and then banish a card from the graveyard if you want to count that as a form of disruption. We have about 6 disruptions thanks to Fua loss, making it not be 9 or 10. Lingaribo, you have to pin down the MTP, and if we negate MTP, well, you can't chain impermanence afterward. All right, negate it. From 6 down to 5. We lose out on our non-target banish. Now, we could have fingered this if we want to. It is fingerable. Gold Sark, banish a good disruption on a banished monster activating, which we would be banishing here. Ooh, we're gonna finger the March Hare. So what I was saying, trying to say is that if you banish a Dormouse, you had an Impulse, obviously we can't do that. Now, we can't use Magnum Hut even if we wanted to because they have no monster in the field, but we want to know the ruling on the mirror. The mirror is trying to banish and search the deck. Does it say banish, also search the deck? Is it banish, then if you do search? Is it search your deck, then banish? There's a lot of different ways where we would still search our deck. Well, you have to banish it, and if you do, meaning it's not sequential, it's simultaneous, and it's reliant on actually being able to banish it, which we're not doing it because it's getting fingered, well, what do? And it's also going to be negated the March Hare in hand. So we probably want to chain our March Hare in the hand before it is going to be negated. That's exactly what we're doing. But that still stops our mirror from searching. So we banish our March Hare before it gets fingered, stopping our own Maliss and mirror. Thus, no search for us here. Let's add back the March Hare. Normal the Fua loss. Why Almirage? Any of your hand traps now enable your backup Ignister to be special summonable. So you can go into a Splash Mage. Splash Mage it up. Reborn, attempt to reborn that is, as we're now going to get negated. The backup Ignister just requires the Cyburst monster to be special summoned from the extra deck to be summonable. That's exactly what we're doing, activating to search our deck. Now, the main way to summon a Maliss Link is it requires a Maliss monster. How do we get that Maliss monster access? In Grave, we don't have a Maliss that we could banish. We already tried to Splash Mage reborn it back. So now we are hard coping. We could draw into a Gold Sark, right? We could draw, no we can't, it's limited to 1. That'd be cheating. We could draw into a Field Spell. That would be great. We already used up our normal summon. We could draw into an Allure of Darkness. There's so many things we could draw into that maybe we want to use Maliss and Mirror to negate. Link to Coder, reborn back. Magnum Hut says ain't no way. Bunish. What do we do here? Do we negate the draw 1? Draw 1 has been negated. all the different cards that we could randomly draw into has now been denied. We could still try to draw during their draw phase, which of course is not going to be as beneficial. Red Ransom, set this up. We already MTP'd this turn, so we lose out on that. GW, to battle we go. Let's take out the on-field Maliss. Ending our turn. Now, we don't even set called by, because we knew that they wanted to maybe use their Bestial in the end phase to try to banish their monster. Thus, we fingered the Dormouse right here and there, but the GWC is going to dodge the Call by the Grave. No finger for thee. And Drex, you did your best. You are a Meta Weekly winner. You know what you're doing. You didn't draw on a hand trap, but if I let you pick up your deck and put any hand trap you want in your hand, we all know it wouldn't be good enough. So, conclude the duel or hope that they disconnect. Time out even. Binder, banish from me the player's grave. Mouse lost and you're happy? Damn, you're gonna be happy no matter what with this match, huh? Chessie is back. Reset GW. Apollo is here. Okay, yep, there we go. Let's go. But I appreciate you, thank you. Nova, attempt to summon for the deck, Max C, and we have no way to stop the... Does Drytron have a good and effective way to get the Draconids on field with minimal special summoning? Let's find out. As we summon the new 2, grab the Alpha. Alpha is going to be giving them an additional draw here. We have the Atlius tributing the Ben 10 to search to further reborn. We do not care about that Max C whatsoever. Oh, that's why. The Vanity Ruler. Your opponent cannot special summon monsters. That would be insane if we didn't have a Widow Anchor to very easily negate. Nice try, mates. Not today. Do we even surrender? Well, we have Max C at least. Okay, let's stay in this duel. Hornet Drones, attempt to summon. We're going to Max C them. It's only fair. You Max C'd me, I Max C you. That's fine. Kagari on summon, add from the graveyard. There's so many things they could do to errata the Max C. Only activatable if you control no cards. If you activate Max C, also add this Max C to your opponent's hand so that they could use Max C next turn. Let's use the Hornets into... We're going to the Mermaid. Onto the Max C freaking challenge. We're going all the way. Discard a card to summon a Garnet. We are going to chain take control, I believe. Yeah, we have 3 spells in the graveyard in order to take it. As we have the Orcust Nightmare on field. Let's further speed this up into Moon of the Closed Heaven. 28 cards left in the deck. I don't think there's any way we could actually deck out here. As we have the Crimson Tear sent from the deck here, further go into the Fiendsmith sequence. Sequence activate to fuse with the graveyard into Lacrima. Lacrima activate, reborn from engrave, further go into the Apollo USA. What do we have in our hand? Nothing. 0 hand traps. So when we actually draw into a hand trap, the Apollo will just stop it. This is not looking good. Let's further equip, send, get rid of the Vanity Ruler. And now we opened ourselves up to get impermanenced. Let's reborn the Gersu. Imperm plus a hand trap is what we need. If we even play impermanence, and just like that, 9,600 damage with 19 cards in our hand, 0 hand traps in sight. What the heck was that? We're dealing with just an Imperm. If Imperm stops your deck, then damn, you maybe want to rethink this. Let's send a new 2 from the deck after the Alpha search for the Ben 10. Let's reborn the new 2. New 2, activate and search our deck for an Ursatron. Ursatron Alpha special summon, searching for the Fafnir. Fafnir searching for the Nova here. Nova special summon from the deck. As we further go into the beta, this is the Imperm check. You Imperm this. Or you don't. Okay, I don't know what we're Imperming. Maybe we're saving Imperm for the next turn. Let's search for the Meteonis Drytron, Ben 10, or, you know, we know that he has a Vanity Ruler, so I could argue that while the Mu Beta is best used with your Imperm, if they don't have a freaking Floodgate, which they do, so better. Now, do we have a way to stop an Impermanence to protect our Floodgates? I'm not sure. Let's reborn. Draconids is here. This can't negate impermanence, right? When your opponent activates a monster effect, twice per turn you can negate. Yeah, that's it. Neither player can special summon, oh, just your opponent actually. Only your opponent cannot special summon, and we can negate 2 monster effects. This is not a Linger Rebo to negate the impermanence. We're in big trouble. Engraver is going to get fingered. Negate and banish. Now, if we turn off the Vanity Ruler, we still have to negate or deal with the fact that he can negate our monster effects twice. We're gonna call by the grave, preemptively finger the Ben 10. What are we doing here? Now we're gonna impermanence. Negates, we're gonna chain the, wait, this has a disruption. Normally this is never used. When your opponent activates a spell trap while you control a machine ritual, and we do, now we could detach a material, negate the activation, and destroy that card. What the heck? Old Drytron back in the day never used Mu Beta as disruption. Crazy. That's because the ultimateness was not a machine, right? The ultimateness, ultimate ritual. Yeah, it's a fairy. So now that the deck is actually summoning a machine ritual, do you gain the additional negate? Well done, mate. Tracked into our Lurie. Now, we have to, because if they make an Apollo, they'll negate the Lancia, then we're screwed. Well done. Honda Powered knows exactly when to do it. Made a Wave King Caesar instead. Still does play Apollo. Now, with not being able to banish from the graveyard, how good is our play going to be? We have double special summon negate as we search for a World's Crown, special summon the Crown, further go into the Apollo, triple monster negate plus double special summon negates, and a Droll and Lockbird. So that's a total of 6 forms of disruption. Cyber, emergency for the Atlius. We are gonna Droll them. Ooh, Droll hits them badly. We're gonna be tributing off the Ben 10, the effect to special summon. We're gonna use the Apollo to negate. Ben 10 does not search when it normally would. It could search for a Diviner here. We're gonna be tributing off to, again, special summon, again, negate. Hard countered mate. Can't search, can't special summon, can't make any freaking plays. We have 3 more negates. Damn, hard countered. Very sorry, Honda Powered. I'm happy that you got to the top 16 with Drytron though. And let's clean this up. And now we can banish thanks to there no longer being a Lancia, World Wand, Reborn back, Run Lava Golem. Was that the way? 9,700 damage. Let's hop into another one. Let's start this off with a barrier of Voiceless, searching our deck for the low. Low's gonna set up a continuous trap into the back row as we're gonna search our deck for a Saphira. Well, this is interesting. You send Lancia from the deck to the grave, and then you use a bow to reborn the Lancia from your grave, and then Lancia on your field as a monster contribute from face up on the field to disallow them from further banishing, and that does counter the Orcust cards. What the heck? This is well done. We have an Omni Negate, we have a Lancia lock, we also have the Radiance to pop a card in the field. Let's freaking go, let's Floodgate them. So when do we want to get Floodgate in? Because now we're under the effect of the Meows, which they're gonna draw off of the Reborn of Lancia. Lurie, come to me, Lurie Reborn. We are going to, instead of pop a card, we're gonna summon from the deck, the Sarvis. This will have the ability to negate an inherent special summon, but first they have to activate a card, then we could get the Sarvis out. Now, and just like that, we're going to negate and banish a sequence. That's gonna be devastating. Now, the Engraver normally has a board breaker-like effect to get rid of a card in the field. The problem is the barrier. The barrier is gonna ensure that our light monsters cannot be targeted. We could target the Abow. which will force them to summon the Lancia. And then Lancia's gonna shut off our Orcust part of the deck. This is it. We are reborning Lancia onto the freaking field. Ain't no way. We are ready. As soon as there's something banishable in the graveyard, that is when the play is gonna be made. We can just negate the summon. Just like that, negate, and we're gonna chain the Phoenix Mate. Now, we're gonna use the cross out designate to banish a Gursu. I guess with the World Wand, if we wanted to later reborn it back, negates the Phoenix. It does not get banished, but it gets sent to the grave instead because we're under the effect of Lancia. We have the Orcust Link 1 sending the World Wand to grab the World Crown. That will trigger to summon the World Crown onto the field, even though it can summon through its own effect. Let's further go into the Galatea Link 2. Smart. This was not activatable unless we have a banish machine, which we did not have a way to banish outside of the cross-out designate. Now, we get negated and destroyed, but if we weren't to get negated and destroyed here, we would be able to set the counter trap, or we could set the field spell, which we would then be able to quick effect our Orcust effects. Searched for Lancia. Great against Orcust, great against Maliss. This is the way to play Voiceless, setting up a Lancia search. Starting off with a normal summon Harp Horror. Harp Horror is going to be a +2. The Link 1 is a potential also +2. How are they both a +2? You plus a monster from the deck, and the monster from the deck is going to have the ability to reborn a monster from the graveyard or the banishment. And the Link 1 can search for the World Crown, which is a +1, and then it could self-reborn itself, which is another +1. Lots of plussing. Negate a monster, take control of a monster, negate and banish anything, negate an interaction with the deck. We could also reborn the Dingursu, non-target send. We could also World's Crown, which will be able to negate a monster from the extra deck. About 7 forms of disruption. Dice event was goated? Really? Wasn't the meta at the start of Master Duel not good? Oh, and the Apollo's gonna actually gain another negate. Boost. Plus 800 into 8 forms of disruption. World Wand, triggering special summon the crown. As we said, we'd gain access to that, so nothing changes. Ash Blossom. Negate the Saphira from searching. 7 more disruptions. Renove. I'm sorry, you floodgated with Lancia, you deserve this. Symbol Skeleton. Dingursu's gonna non-target send before you activate, but you have another barrier. So they waste this disruption on this, just so you could activate another. Well done. As we now search our deck for the Blessing. With the Blessing on summon, we can perform a ritual summon, and that is what we're doing. We're gonna be triggering both effects here. Why not chain link block, mates? This is an optional. This is an optional. Optional. Chain 1, chain 2, block the Apollo. Does it cost us the duel? No. But, you know, if we want to pretend like we have a chance, I guess. Skull Guardian is here. Low trigger, reborn. Skull Guardian search our deck. So we at least chain link block the low. And Lil Gursu, non-target. Take control of the Skull Guardian before it gains its negate. No negate for you. Thank you. Damn. And now we have a low. I'm loving Orcust so much. It is great. We're going to return back to our hand. Now, why didn't we Crescendo this? You can't. Crescendo can negate a Spell and Trap card, not a Spell and Trap effect. The effect it can negate is only a monster effect. There's a big difference here. Low on the aggression, taking out the Link 1 Galatea. Oh, don't worry, you give them back Skull. No, you don't. Permanently taking control. Oh my Jesus. This World's Crown should have 0 attack. I don't know what Konami was thinking. What the? And just like that, lethal damage. Well done. That's what you get for Lancia floodgating. We got the Meows in response to reborning from the graveyard or banishment. Now, what are our forms of disrupt here? We could Omni Negate, we could pop a card, we can also pop another card. We have about triple disruption. Graver Search. This Harvest could protect us from being targeted. The light monsters already cannot be targeted. Tracked and the Lurie. Lurie reborn itself back onto the field here. Let's further go into the Requiem. Requiem activates, summon from the deck, make Crimson Tear. Let's reborn the Engraver here. The Engraver cannot take out the Skull Guardian. We're now going to use the Abow to reborn from Engrave the Sarvis. Sequence. We're now going to pop the Sequence. We still have our 2 forms of disruption. Let's Wedju Temple it up. Sen'jin for the back row, searching for the Golem. Golem is here. We're now in response to the Golem summoning the Sarvis, which can negate a special summon. This can be negated. Negated and banished. We still have the Omni Negate. Negate anything we want. Summon the Harpor into the Galatea Link 1. Further special summon the World Crown into a Little Knight. Little Knight could not target the Skull Guardian. By taking out the Barrier, the Voiceless, we can go to battle and try to take out the Low. Low is too large though at 2050 D. Thus, we're going to use the Skull Guardian to attempt to negate. As it successfully does negate, we can target the Low to banish temporarily. No Harpor summon for you. Ooh, what the? Tracked already activated. We can't get Wand in the graveyard. Harpor got freaking negated. Oh my Jesus. That was enough. Little Knight is back. What the heck was that? The Abow drew 2, then returned 2. Okay, a mini little mulligan. Lethal damage 2800 to the face. Centruion versus, I believe this is pure Mitsurugi. Search for the Habakiri, hit him with the Droll and Lockbird past the turn. Now, the Mitsurugi trap is not going to be activatable unless we have a level 5 or higher reptile, thus it is a brick. We have Maxi and Chaos Hunter, that is it. Chaos Hunter on special summon will be able to special summon itself, and then your opponent cannot banish cards. The Wake Up can't get a Phalanx in the graveyard, which can't banish to reborn a monster from engrave. It's not that big of a deal. You can still make the majority of our plays, but we are going to hit them with the Max Seed. Despite getting Max Seed, we're still going to further special summon. Legacia on summon is going to be taking out the Chaos Hunter plus draw a card. Centruion is not known for putting up lethal damage in a single turn. We're going to be searching for the Synchro, randomly drawing a Synchro Rumble, that is. Special summon the Gargoyle. Are we going for a lethal play? What is this? 6,500 damage. Auxilla on someone's going to be Chain Link blocking the Ash from being able to negate. Let's search our deck mates as we add back the Gargoyle. Gargoyle can special summon itself, which it has already done, so we're just going to simply go to battle with this. And our forms of disruption are going to be the Centruion field spell to Synchro, the Phalanx to banish a monster, double disrupt, and then with the power of Max C. Maybe we could draw into a hand trap with the Atri. Pre-prep, we're going to chain the Atri to draw a card. We're going to chain Max C, chain Trudea and the Primera to play around the Max C. They still get the draw for the Atri. And they're now getting ready with the Murakumo. Now, let's activate plus our field spell mates. Chain Link block the draw one and search. Make sure to thin the deck with the search first, as we now go into the Crimson Dragon. Ever so slightly increasing our chance to draw into a hand trap here. Hand trap? No. Now, Crimson Dragon's going to turn itself into a Blazar Dragon, which can negate anything. Chaos Hunter will be triggering the special summon. We're going to chain Maxi in response. We have Blazar, and we have the Phalanx. Ash negates the Maxi. Blazar Dragon negating the Ash Blossom. You have to play under Maxi. So now we have to stress the anxiety of, am I throwing the game by over special summoning under Max C? But if I don't special summon enough when I could have ended the game, do I do so? What do? Murakumo is here. Now, Legacia says 2,000 or less cannot be destroyed by battle. That's not protective. Auxilla only protects the back row cards. The Primera states that level 5 or higher Centurions cannot be destroyed by card effects only while this is a continuous trap. So that is not going to be protective. Wipe the field. Drone Lockbird on the resolution, thanks to drawing it off of the Max C. We're going to Murakumo, force them to discard a card to even resolve the Droll and Lockbird here. Let's further Murakumo Ritual. Let's summon the Habakiri from the deck. We are at 8,100 damage. Now, the Phalanx, I don't think we searched for the Phalanx. We opened up with it, so we have no idea that this could potentially stop lethal damage. Well, it can't. We have the Purification, which could further negate the Phalanx, and then Reborn back, attack again. Wham bam, thank you ma'am, under the effect of Max C. Now, we actually can't Reborn because of Droll. Droll would stop us from searching and reborning, which we do have to search to even reborn. Okay, well done. Game number 2. Now, mind you, in game 1, the Phalanx was not even activatable because of the Chaos Hunter, but I believe we summoned enough where we could have still had lethal through the Phalanx if it were activatable. In addition to having the Purification to even negate the Phalanx, we're now going to Artifact Lancea in response to the Crossout Designate. Not today, mate. My Max C, it's going through. Negate. Nothing. That's it. We still resolve the sword-like effects even though we're not banishing from the deck. We have stand up Centruion, discard the Spore, set up the Gargoyle into the back row. Keep on drawing, and we don't care. Through the Max C, we are special summoning 3 freaking times. Auxilla is going to be searching the deck. Gargoyle is going to Chainlink block from an Ash Blossom. We have our Phalanx here, which is now public knowledge. Our forms of disruption are 3. We could Droll, we could Banish, we could Synchro into a Blazar Dragon. Pre-preparation, searching for the Mirror plus a Ritual monster. As we're now going to hit him with the Droll. Do we have a way to stop the Droll? No stop for the Droll. We're going to chain the Prayers, though. Prayers will be searching our deck and special summoning from the hand or graveyard. Come forth, Kusanagi back in the field. Kusanagi will now trigger to add back engraved to our hand the Prayers. And let's now chain our Trudea. Now that they have a card in the field, we could try to make plays to play around a potential impermanence. You gotta think about the imperm. And this is why you can forever, potentially against Centruion, try to trick them by falsely attempting to enter the battle phase, trying to get them to special summon within the main phase, and then you get to imperm and retain your main phase. It sometimes works. You're bluffing and evenly matched. Crimson Dragon is here. Crimson Dragon is going to be setting up the Blazar Dragon. We have the Phalanx. Where did the Cosmic Blazar go? Hello? Where? Oh, what? What the? We summoned, and then we tributed it with the Wuso. It happened so quickly. You could special summon this without activating. Just simply Kaiju tribute a reptile in your hand and a monster the opponent controls, and the Blazar is completely gone. And then with the Wuso and the normal summoned Aramasa, we are under the effect of Droll, by the way. Let's make a Link 2. You can target a face-up monster your opponent controls, turn its attack to 0. What the heck are we doing? Phalanx is now going to banish away your reptile Link 3. Get that trash out of here. Summon for the deck a Wuso, then tribute it. Wuso will add from the graveyard back to the hand. Can we summon again? We can only summon once per turn this way. We're not going to be able to Kaiju again. We're going to use the Mirror. Mirror, Reborn back on the field, the Murakumo. We don't have the Primera in the back row to protect our level 5 or higher from being destroyed. 3,200 to the face. Dailingo, under the effect of Droll, still making great plays. Now, we can negate anything. We can force them to discard. We can non-target wipe away all of their monsters. Triple Disruption. Let's force them to discard. You want to activate the Engraved Phalanx to Reborn the Auxilla? Discard the Gargoyle in order to do so. This will still trigger on special summon, not synchro summon. We're going to negate. And does the negate destroy? It does destroy. Negate and destroy the Auxilla. Now, we can Reborn back the Murakumo. We're going to Chainlink block it with the Mirror so you cannot attempt to Ash it here. We still have the non-field wipe because we could use the Prayers to tribute, then Reborn the same Murakumo through the effect of Prayers. Then we have to remember for the next turn, that Prayers summoned Murakumo will not be able to attack directly. Rumble the Primera back onto the field. Activate, searching for the Trudea. We have not normal summoned yet. We're going to play the World of Spirits, searching for a Regulus Fairy Beast. Now we are wiping the field. Before they synchro into an 8, let's add a Wuso. Let's Reborn back. Trigger the effect. Wipe the field. Now we have 0 disruption. The Link 3, is this a disruption in any way? I do not believe so. It's just a setup card. Impermanently drawn, set, pass. That's all we have. Impermanent, nothing left. The field spell adds on activation, and then each time a special summon happens, you could put the monster to defense. That's not really a disruption. Imperm, negating the Link 3. Link 3 targeting the Banish Wuso, which you would be able to target that many spell and trap cards the opponent controls to then destroy them, is what we were attempting to do. Serpent and the Aramasa triggering off of the Mitsurugi Ritual. To battle we go. 8,700 damage. Lethal damage. AFD's no good. You don't think it's the new best way to play Centruion? Branded Yusuf. You love to see it, and Branded has some new support I have yet to react to. Branded against Mitsurugi. This is Mitsurugi Gem Knight. Full loss in response to summoning from the deck. We get that draw 1. Don't mind if I do. Mitsurugi Ritual. The ritual is going to be summoning from the hand. No draw for you. Let's trigger the Kusanagi to add back the ritual. Aramasa is going to be adding the Futsu from the deck here, which we can, with the mirror, tribute off the on-field to summon the Murakumo from the hand here. So again, no additional draw. Reborn back, no draw. We can now force them to discard to activate a card. We could also negate whenever they want and destroy that card. Also non-target wipe the field of monsters. Triple disruption to play through. Surely we could play through it. Fusion deployment. We're going to have to discard a card for this to resolve. Discarding the Quem as to summon a Mirror Jade, you can't use a ritual, right? Fusion Synchro Caesar Link only. Albion sending the Retribution to draw into the Branded in red. Randomly. Aluberon summon, activate to search for our Branded Fusion. Now, does the Purification negate the activation or the effect? Let's read that. Negate the effect, thus the Branded Fusion will not be activatable again through the Retribution adding it back. Let's Foolish Burial, send from the deck a Serenir, triggering to send from the deck here a High Spirits. Blazing Cartesia is going to fuse with the Albaz into an Albion Branded Dragon. Albion Branded, we're going to chain the prayers, tribute off the Murakumo to reborn it back, and then we're going to non-target wipe away the opposing field. This is it. Kusanagi comes back. We have the Quem and Engrave Serenir. We have Caritas when sent to the graveyard or leaving the field through the opponent's card effect that's going to summon from the deck or extra deck. So knowing that they're going to wipe away our field, we're setting up the response. And we have not committed yet to our Branded Fusion, which we know they're going to negate with the Purification. Reborn back. Murakumo. Non-target wipe the field. Wipe it. Caritas is going to reduce the opposing monsters to 0 attack. Reduce, wipe it. We're at 1 disruption left. Summon a Quem from the deck. Further send from the deck a Branded in white. Branded Fusion. Negate the effect, not the activation with the Purification. Thus, you can't add back the Branded Fusion. And just like that, 0 disruption. Can Yusuf further make plays? Look at their hand. 8 cards waiting for the next freaking turn. Retribution back the Branded in white. With the white, we're going to use the graveyard as long as we use an Albaz. Fuse it up into the Mirror Jade. Mirror Jade is going to trigger the Quem, reborn back the Cartesia, which already activated to fuse this turn. To battle we go. We're getting reduced by the Habakiri. Let's non-target, banish away the Murakumo, which could be added back with the Kusanagi. Let's swing in the Mirror Jade to activate its effect during the end phase to wipe away the opposing field. Set the Branded in red. Albion's going to further set the Banishment. We're in a pretty good spot. Titanclad's going to further summon from the deck into a Fallen of Albaz. With the Fallen of Albaz, we're not going to fuse. Now, what are our forms of disruption? We have the ability to reborn back the Mirror Jade, which could then fuse with both fields, so that would be a disruption into another disruption. We could then Cartesia fuse with the Mirror Jade, then reborn it back with Quem to then non-target banish again. As we fuse into a disruption, we get Branded in red, go into a form of disruption. We could potentially get into the graveyard, the Rinbrum, which could fuse with their field into a disruption. This is up to 7 forms of disruption if everything goes perfect for Branded. We're going to use Prayers to reborn back the Kusanagi, adding back the Murakumo because we potentially don't play a second copy. Let's Cartesia fuse with the Albaz into the Grand Grenole. Grand Grenole, we're going to trigger the Quem to reborn back the Mirror Jade. So the Grand Grenole itself is not a direct form of disruption, so we're going to take away that disrupt right here. Sending the Serenir. Serenir, send an opening here, which could protect us from destruction. Now if they Murakumo attempt to wipe the field, we will be protected by banishing the opening instead. And we have to make sure we have a card in hand, the High Spirits, to ensure we can discard it when they try to negate us. We're going to use the Purification to reborn the Habakiri in response to a non-target banish. Reborn, non-target banishing. We also tributed the Murakumo to dodge the banish effect of the Mirror Jade. Well done. It's a reborn and tribute another monster. Wiping away the field did not protect with the effect of the opening. We have Alibur now triggering to negate the Habakiri from reducing our field by 800. With the Mirror Jade in Graveyard, it will be rebornable back with the banishment, and then we could use the Alibur plus another monster in the field to fuse with the banishment. And the fusion will banish their card. Because Yurievna does not want the Murakumo to be banished, but we will banish it. It's going to. We're going to discard the High Spirit to ensure that this goes through. We're going to reborn the Albaz here. Okay. Albaz is not going to have anything to discard because we're going to have to discard the High Spirits. Unless we don't discard. We do discard. We banishment, reborn back, and we can now use the Albaz with the banishment to banish away the Murakumo. Going into a Lubellion with nothing to discard, unfortunately. We're going to brand it in red, add back the Quem, and we're not going to be doing any fusion play from there. We still have the non-target banish of the Mirror Jade. Let's use the Golem, send the 2 back row for the Doom Dragon. Doom Dragon's going to attempt to push the Mirror Jade. Mirror Jade again. Activate the non-target banish. We're out of juice. That's it. We're done. We had potentially up to 7 disruptions, down to now 0. Mitsurugi's just too much. And then you have the Millennium cards on top of that. Damn. Gas on gas on gas, and then revealing that we're playing Gem Knight. Branded going first. Send the Albaz, draw a card. We have Ash for the branded fusion, of course. Let's speed this up. Fallen Albaz from the hand here. Let's go into the Anaconda. We're copying an effect that sends the deck by effect, but you still can't Ash because the effect is just to copy an effect. Mirror Jade is here. When Mirror Jade is summoned through an Anaconda, that is 3 forms of disruption. It's a Mirror Jade non-target banish, it's an Albaz reborn to fuse with their field, and then whatever we fuse into should be a form of disruption, triple disruption. We also have Retribution to negate an effect of special summon. We also have Branded in red, which could turn into a form of disruption. About 5. Didn't play into the Ash. We are going to have the Millennium Engine to try to play through some of the disruption here by summoning a Doom Dragon to push the Mirror Jade into the back row. Here's the Wedju Temple. And on the resolution of the Wedju putting up 2 monsters, that is when the Doom Dragon is going to be played. Before the Doom Dragon is summoned, we're going to Albion banish away the Senjin. We're going to, in red, grab the Albaz, finger the Albaz. No Rinbrum. We summoned Albion instead, which is quite interesting. So the red has been used. The ability to go into the Rinbrum has been used. What do we even have left? We're cooked. We're done. Why was Albion sent over Rinbrum? I'm a bit confused on this. Oh well, damn. Thank you, YouTube, for watching the top 16 as we now advance to the top 8, and we're going to start this off with the Gravity Collapse again, but against a new deck. I'll see you there.